Hello. With this video, I would like to address some of the things that have been said about Catalonia and the Catalan referendum and the Spanish government. Some of the things I've read in the international media are not correct, and it's very surprising how these journalists and these media are not saying the truth. It's been said that Catalan people want to vote, and they want to vote because they have the right to decide the future. And it's been said that the Spanish government won't let them vote and decide the future. Well, this is quite a lie. Catalan people vote every year in regional elections as well as in local and national elections. So they do decide the future in those elections. Of course, within the Spanish frame and the European frame, because we are part of the European Union. So we abide by the European law. We are under the European courts. You can't say that Spain is not a democratic country, and you can't say that the rights of these people are not being respected or defended. So some years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, in the Catalan regional elections, the independent parties, the pro-independence parties, didn't get the majority of votes. They got 48% against a 52% of non-secessionist parties vote. But due to the electoral law in Spain, they did get a majority of seats in the parliament. So it is a very short, simple majority, but enough to pass laws. And they tried, and they have changed the law with that simple majority, going against the Catalan law, actually. Since they weren't happy with the results, the Catalan secessionist party decided to campaign for the independence, and they started saying all kinds of things about the Spanish government. They blamed them for the problems in the region, and well, they said a lot of BS. At the same time, they were trying to hide the corruption problems in their own government. Most of their leaders are in legal processes by the Spanish justice for cases of corruption. I read in some other places in the international media that there is a comparison with the Scottish and the Quebec referendums. Well, as it's been said a million times, but it seems that it's not enough. The Canadian and the British law is completely different from the Spanish law. Scotland was a country who was united with the other kingdoms of the British Isles and islands, and they don't have a constitution. And the Quebec case is more or less the same. The Spanish constitution doesn't allow secession at all, as most of the European countries, well, not most, all of the European countries do not allow secession either. if we had to change the constitution or the territory of Spain, it would have to be the whole vote of Spain. I mean, the whole people of Spain voting for modification of the constitution. But it cannot be done by a regional, I mean, by a region of Spain. That is to say that the Catalan residents are not the owners of the Catalan territory. The Catalan territory is part of the Spanish territory and is owned by the whole of the Spanish people. So the Spanish Constitution is a federal one. It's not centralized at all. So every region, and especially the Basque Country and Catalonia, they have their own regional institutions, their own government with their language, and all kinds of regional institutions, and they decide all the things of normal life. And they all have they have their own police as well. How can anybody say that Catalan people are oppressed? What kind of oppression is that? I mean, they are autonomous in every sense. The other crucial fact about this problem is, what is the point of asking the Catalan people whether or not they want to be politically independent if they can't decide such a thing? They can't decide about the Catalan territory because it's not theirs. It doesn't belong to the residents of Catalonia. It belongs to the whole of the Spanish people, and it's the Spanish people as a whole who can decide about that. This is done exactly the same way as the rest of the European countries, which I think we can consider democratic enough. And we are, as I said, under the European law, and we have signed all the treaties in the world about democratic good practices and so on. These are the reasons why the Constitutional Court in Spain declared this referendum illegal and unconstitutional. The secessionist government of Catalonia didn't abide, didn't comply with this decision, and not only that, but decided to go ahead against the court's decision and used public resources to pay for all the infrastructure and all the organization of this referendum, and is just trying the international media to believe their happy phrases about freedom and oppression and so on. And it's actually fooling the international media because they have a very strong and well organized media department. Another thing it's been said is that the international law and the international treaties are enough justification to celebrate this referendum, regardless what Spanish law, European law, and every single law says about it. Well, the self-determination right only applies in international treaties and human rights, only applies to oppressed people and to colonies, which, as you may know, is not the case of Catalonia. Catalonia was never a colony, was never an occupied country, was never a country, was only a county in the 18th century, a county that was unified and became a part of the Spanish kingdom in the 18th century, and that's it. There's no oppression, there's no rights for independence at all. And it's worrying that some media are disseminating this kind of false information, and I understand it sounds pretty well, this right to decide thing, and I mean these magic words and magic phrases that mean nothing really, because there's a million things that we can't decide. Well, this is what I wanted to say as the main facts, and I hope it helps to clarify some of the terms and some of the news that are being heard regarding this issue about Catalonia. Bye-bye.